Hello, everyone. Not who you were expecting. Uh, Welcome to TGIF. Wow, it's good to see everybody that's here today. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce my good buddy, Fat Steven Seagal, otherwise known as Justice Siegel.
That's pretty much it. Hey, how's it going? I know this is a new opening format. We fired Gary this morning after the Wildstorm and Wildcat stuff that I was pretty much talking about last year, and now it's coming out. They're really diving deep. I used to look at my Wildstorm comics. Yeah, so we fired him so he can get a SIM card or a encyclopedia on how to use a cell phone or something, whatever it is what those old people do back in their day. And Keith is regretting bringing me on first because I just derailed everything and he was trying to be professional. So news at 11, Steven sucks and he's funny. All right, there we go. Next up is our untrained monkey, or is it the Viking with subtitles? I can't tell. I don't.
We're gonna go with Viking next. So come on in, Viking.
I just hope that this means that now we are going to get paid.
Hurdy.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Would be
How
really
you doing
nice.
today?
Great. Good to be here with all of you.
Liar.
And the main man himself, Martin. How we doing, Martin?
Well,
Yeah, he didn't want to
as
be
ready as always, which means not as ready, but able and willing.
Gary
You know
was
what?
listening in the chat. He just fired me in the private DMs shit. All right, we guys know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well,
all right,
this
more
is
time
our
to match
channel
today.
now.
I mean, if you're fired.
It's okay.
Okay, well, I mean, it's been
He's
nice
backing
knowing
up. He's backing up. I bet he is. Backing up the door.
As long as he's not back
Well-
against the door.
you. Ooh.
Those hinges really sound. They may need a little butter, maybe.
Well, everyone, thanks for coming in today and enjoying our little show. Today, we're going to be, hey, King's Portal. Today, we will be discussing more about the Embracer Group and looking at what they've done in the past and basically talking about their impact on all of geekdom and what possibly could be ahead for them. So, let's just say for right now that Gary will be a little late in joining us, and so you're going to be stuck with us for a little while.
God, no. Help us all.
Wow, you're
I'm sorry. Yay. I'm not going to get shit on for 10 minutes. Yay. Mama, help me.
well. First of all, let's just go ahead and say hello.
You eat shit. Sorry.
Let's say hello to everybody that's in here. First of all, Marshall, how you doing?
He's going to kill me.
I mean, would it be that much of a loss if Gary is not here? At least people will be able to talk. Wow, Marshall.
I don't think it's the combination of talk. I think it's finished sentence.
I'd also like to say hello to King's Portal.
Love you, Gary. Please don't kill me.
Hello.
Well, it'd be all good. We got this. Also, you will not be. Wow. Are we just going to spend the time roasting
I don't
Gary
know.
while he's not here?
We
So
were
much
talking
love
about
for him.
roast in the back. I don't know.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, look at
Fine
Mark.
by
That's
me.
the loudest he's ever. So who wants to go first? The Malacca and the Swede?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me finish saying hello to everybody in the chat. I'm going to say hello to Penny.
Hi, Penny.
Hello, Penny. Oh, and Anima Computer. Hello.
Sorry.
Bill?
Oh, I think we hurt Gary's feelings.
Monkey Jeebus, how you doing? Pat S.
Hey, go back to comment.
What?
Go back one comment. Thank the gods, Keith and Steven have finally overthrown Jerry. Hail the new kings of pop culture.
Wow, you guys are not loyal at all.
I'm reading what the chat was.
Keith and Steven, Viking and I are not in that train, man.
Very true.
Quiet monkey.
That's
Well,
Wolfen.
That's Wolfen. Hey, big man, how you doing?
Hail.
God, the cocks. Sorry.
And of course, the judging Keith.
Judgmental kid. Can never be missing.
Oh, good.
Wow, chat is really going today.
Yeah, there.
Thank you guys. Wow, we're up to 105.
Even the chat
Great.
can talk more.
Well, you know what? If you really want to show them something, let's just go ahead and see how many likes we can get. Let's see how far we can get on likes while Gary's not here, okay?
But as soon as he comes here, they're going to go away. I don't know if that works properly. Sorry, I missed 2 weeks of shit.
Hello, Sucks.
Wow, socks too. Jeez. Hello. Anyway.
You can say he's greater than me all the time. That's cool.
Wait, Kitty will start kicking you
Here's
out.
the catch is, that's fine. I can go have a sandwich. It doesn't fucking matter to me.
Today's interruptions are brought to you by Fat Steven Seagal. Please enjoy Fat Steven Seagal's different products, such as the anal bleaching that he's always promoting.
Hey, I have not talked about that in a while, okay?
Wow.
I haven't even brought it up. You're trying to start Penny. And then Dork's going to yell at me and tell me how much people unsuffer my channel because they thought I was being anally retentive or something.
What?
Okay, this is spinning out of control already.
Mr. Clean, Magic Bleach Eraser. Next.
Anyway, first of all, thank you for everyone that has joined us today. Hopefully we can start you off the right way for the rest of your weekend. As you may have learned, we are going to be talking about the Embracer Group some more and the effect that they're going to have on all of geek and nerddom. Okay? So let's just go ahead and start off with excuse me. Let's just go ahead and see about sharing this screen here.
While you share the screen, would you like me to read what it says?
Sure.
Well, supposedly this comes from Deadline. Oh, God, I hate reading from them. And it's going pretty much like this. A Swedish video game company known as Embracer Group has acquired the Middle-earth Enterprises, which is a small division of the Saul Zaentz company, which owns the intellectual property catalog and worldwide rights of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit by our well-pristine and still deceased J.R.R. Tolkien. The financial terms of the acquisition were not disclosed, but the deal means Embracer Group will pick up the motion picture, the video game, the board game, the merchandising, theme parks, and stage production rights relating to Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit franchises, as well as matching rights in other Middle-earth related literary works authorized by the Tolkien estate and HarperCollins, which have yet to explore. Which also could mean, if there is stuff going on here, say at Universal, there's rumors going around, thanks to Lorena Creel and the Lunch Table Show earlier today, that there might be a Lord of the Rings section coming to their theme parks, which would definitely bring in a new market of not only tourists and visitors, but incoming fans. So that's actually exciting.
That's something that, before you continue with that, that's something that they have been trying to do with their theme park for, I think, as long as they finish with the Harry Potter thing, like it's something that they have been looking for. But negotiations are, of course, difficult on that. And now that the Soul Saints company has sold Middle-earth Enterprises, we might be closer to that finally being a reality. I mean, it's not really like a rumor so much as a development hell of sorts, if you will.
Yeah. Let me know. Yeah.
Hmm.
Would you like me to continue or?
Yes, go ahead and continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
Quotes. I am truly excited to have the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, one of the world's most epic fantasy franchises, join the MTR family, opening up more transmedia. Oh God, was that a real thing? Transmedia. How does it identify?
Yeah.
Transmedia opportunities, including synergies across our global group, says Lars Wingforce. I hope I said that, or is it Wingforce? I hope he doesn't ostracize me later. Founder and group CEO. Embracer Group. I'm thrilled to see what lies in the future for this IP with free mode and Asmodee as a start within the group. Going forward, we also look forward to collaborating with both existing and new Eternal licensees. That word is there, yes, of our increasingly stronger IP portfolio. So, collaborating. So, in other words, what, they're going to tell Amazon to shut the hell up?
Well,
I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping if they're in full control, then I'm hoping the collaborating means Amazon. You better make a better season if they get a season 2, right? Because what they pushed forward, 3 seasons of Rings of Power?
Mm-hmm.
Not
5.
So this means 5, but this means not no more, right? Because they can't film all 5 seasons at once.
Well, the thing here is that the rights that Middle-earth Enterprises has do not include television, and of course they don't include streaming, because when that was signed, streaming wasn't even a thing. So that's an entirely different thing. I mean, Amazon didn't get the rights from the Soul Saints company or Middle-earth Enterprises. They got it directly from the Tolkien estate. So it's an entirely different beast, that one.
Oh, what's crazy? Sorry about
that. Yeah, it's completely unrelated. Yeah.
What's crazy is also I just pulled up their website right now, and they have their they published their interim Q1 report, and supposedly their net sales has increased by 107%.
Jeez.
Oh.
So I guess they took that and they put their money where their mouth is, I guess. And I think they've got these groups out there. Maybe I'm wrong in looking at this. We got groups out there that are watching Twitter, they're watching social media, they're watching YouTube, they're watching Twitch, they're watching all these people and fans that actually know the lore, or they know the love of these types of franchises, and they're seeing where it's going to fall. And then they're actually looking at the product that these other larger corporations are trying to push, saying, deal with it or get lost. And most people are getting lost, but they're going to make money off how bad you look. And I think Embracer just went in for this, for what would you call it? Like just for the gut punch. And
pretty much.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. And there are rumors. Those are rumors, because I didn't see any confirmation of that perhaps the price of the rights was, reduced a little bit, because exactly that backlash that we have been seeing against Amazon and the Rings of Power. So then that may have led also to quicker negotiation, because the rights were up for sale, I think, at the beginning of this year, something like that, and the deal was finalized just right now. So
it was $2 billion is what I heard, and that the actual sell was close to 700. Oh, I heard 720.
700? Oh, okay.
Yeah, 720 million.
Yeesh.
All right.
And as I'm looking at Embracer, which I'm going to throw this in there because they, as of August 18th, there was a press release that they also entered an agreement to acquire Tripwire Interactive, and I believe Tripwire is known for the Killing Floor series, for those who ever played that. So that's also pretty interesting. So I think they're going for acquisitions of in gaming. I think they're pulling like the way Xbox has been pulling. As Xbox and Sony fight over year for gaming ownership of titles and companies and productions and all that. And I think Embracer's trying to maybe get a foothold in a bunch of these different properties, and Lord of the Rings and Killing Floor are pretty good ways to start.
Well, that's not the only thing. I think when you look at the whole of what they have, they're definitely aiming for something.
Mm-hmm.
They are aiming for something. The gaming part of it just seems to be the stuff that we're focusing in on. But when you look at the rest of what they own, you can tell this is a company with the money that they have. They're definitely aiming for something big.
Peter Jackson big, pretty much, if you think about it.
Bigger than that, probably.
Bigger than that, I'd reckon.
Well, I'm as a reference, like if they're willing to go that, let me rephrase that. Peter Jackson big is, in other words, the adaptability of skill to lore, to creativity, to detail, to following a storyline like the way Jackson did, as much as it's up and down depending on how you look at it. If you have enough money, you could go all out and hopefully you come out of Helm's Deep balls deep, See what I did there?
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
I
That took a lot of brain power.
I agree with you that this is going to mean something big, especially for gaming, because they do have a lot of investment in gaming. I mean, they recently bought Tomb Raider, I reckon. I think that it was in May or something like that.
Mhm.
And they already have plans for sequels, and they are looking for deals with movie productions as well. So this is something big also. Like, they are trying to do the same thing that Disney has been doing, like getting properties
And
to
ruining
be,
them?
and I hope not, but build like this huge catalog of entertainment, of product.
Yeah.
Now, how good that can be, well, it depends on of course, what they have been buying, because so far they have bought, for example, games and things from Square Enix that were not that successful, and we know how Square has been squaring, how they have been faring with their Marvel video games and all that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you can expect them to try and salvage something maybe, but if you ask me, I think that it's also something of a well, let's get as much money as we can out of these things that we've got,
The other factor is, as I can say, is I'm literally, I guess, a professional gamer without the professional money that I should be making. But is that gaming is pretty much a market that is slowly getting infected. If we look at the way Last of Us 2 and how all that stuff fell out, and other things coming out in franchises, is gaming is a market still not fully touched with all this identity politics and how you look at it. It is still like the growing movie industry in a way. It's maybe 10 years back, depending on titles. Indies are a lot more profitable lately, depending on how the creativity, how they're delivered, how they're not trying to force crap down your throat, and you're able just to play a game and lose a few hours. So maybe that's why they're trying to do this, because a lot of people are don't want to deal with microtransactions. They don't want to hear about how took a story and then you whipped it around with a golf club and knocked some guy named Joel out. And I think there's companies out there that are going to start pushing for the titles that people forgot or don't know and try and make them the next AAA. And that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. Look, I think they pretty much are one of the stories, if not one of the biggest stories of the year as far as gaming and video games, really. My focus has been recently, since this broke, on a lot of the other stuff, especially Dark Horse and a lot of what they own. And as far as I know, they still own Hellboy. So with the Hellboy game that they put out, and this could lead into, well, as far as video gaming, we could finally have a really cool Hellboy video game, but also lead probably into other projects. I would not be surprised if they eventually came around to trying to buy something that will give them access to be able to transfer a lot of this stuff over into things like television, a lot of online type of stuff, definitely film.
A gaming and streaming platform where you can either rent a film, let's say Lord of the Rings, or you can go play one of the Lord of the Rings games.
I wouldn't even stop with that. I look, I personally think that with the amount of money that they are putting away, that they have already, I should say, I think they're going to aim for a studio.
Yep.
They could definitely buy one. And there's one that's been up for sale for quite a while. So I think that they may aim for Sony.
But it could be a little bit risky, don't you reckon? I mean, we are seeing here a downfall or downsize of creativity and studio power, let's say. It's more about streaming and all that sort of thing.
But see, that's the thing. What Zaslav has pointed out is there's a weakness in that plan. People are still willing to check out other outlets for your films. For instance, as an example, what I think Zaslav was pointing to was, say, the Eternals. Now, it used to be in the past when you have a film that didn't exactly live up to its financial potential, you'd have all these various places to have your film go through in order to get money to put towards making back what you lost. Okay?
Yeah.
So VOD. From VOD, you would go to deciding which cable network would get it, and thus which television network would get it. And then you would go to making the film available to purchase. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, once streaming became a thing, especially with Disney and others, once they did all of that, they threw that away.
Yeah.
And what Zaslav talked about a few weeks ago was that's dumb. People are still willing to give you money. Go out and get it.
Yeah.
So his thing is embracing films, embracing the theatrical experience, but then also taking those films out of the theatrical, window. Once they're done, going through VOD, going through cable, broadcast networks, and even, selling that film, making all of that money that's still out there.
Maybe even Blu-ray, right? Because there are still
that's what I mean. Blu-ray,
physical.
DVD, all that stuff, digital. You make as much money as you can before you stick it on your own streaming, because none of that will help you recoup your losses. By taking something like the Eternals straight from the theater and onto your streaming service, it's not like you're not making any money, but the amount of money that you make, it's going to take a longer time to pay that off.
Well, that's a good point, though, because if you're going direct to streaming right after theaters, you're denying the whole physical media market, and then you lose all those millions of dollars. So it should be physical media first and then streaming. The same with games. So that's the thing that bothers me. Zaslav has a brilliant idea. If he wants to start making back money with WB, is he needs to look at the price model of the digital stores like PSN and Xbox. Why are we paying the same amount for a game that has no physical copy?
But that's the thing. Yeah. Look, you're still cutting out, though, VOD and cable and
I haven't watched
network.
That's why. I'm sorry, I haven't looked at cable TV in a while.
Yeah, I know, but as Zaslav would say, any way to get money is the positive way to go. And so his thing is to go ahead and do it all. In other words, the system that we basically got rid of in order to go straight to streaming, Zaslav says, no, we're going to go back to that system. We still have streaming here. Streaming will always be here.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead and take up all that money first. Anybody that's willing to give you money, you should think about doing a deal with them. So you could take your film and you could go straight out of the theaters and go to VOD, and then go to if Cinemax or Stars wants Justice League 2, I'm sure Zaslav will go ahead and make that deal. Just do it. They're willing to give us money.
I think right now they're playing To Catch an Ezra, and I think that's with a new series.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. I just wanted to point out that this is also a very important moment for Zaslav and for Warner, because now that Embracer has the rights, they can strike deals for more movies or for more content with Warner. By Warner acting as a licensee, that's why we have War of the Rohirrim right now. They still have the rights to making the movies, and
for now.
For now.
Yeah.
And if they strike a deal with Embracer, maybe we will have this situation of Spider-Man with Sony. Like Sony produces always something about Spider-Man, so that they can hold to the rights, and that can be also something beneficial for Warner Discovery right now, that they need, success and hits, with everything that they have been canceling as of late.
Well, you need to have a way of making a lot more money. Now, what we've established is both video games and creating features are a way of making money. But if you have no way to make features, see, that is the one thing that Netflix is missing.
Yeah.
Anytime they have anything original, what they're actually doing is they're functioning based on having people on the outside who have ideas and paying them so that idea that they make is an exclusive to Netflix. Okay?
Yeah.
With Disney and with Warner Brothers Discovery and someday with Paramount, what you're talking about is taking stuff out of, they have an entire setup to make movies, to generate content for both theaters and for television, whichever way you want to watch it. Well, Netflix doesn't have that. That's the reason why they're spending all that money. They're spending themselves into failure because they have no way of they have no structure beyond just offering stuff through their service.
And they also don't use any physical formats either, like they don't.
Well, not as much anymore. Look, their DVD thing is still viable for some people, but again, that doesn't do you any good if you're not making your own movies. I mean, even if Netflix were to go out and buy a chain of theaters to show stuff on, you still have no way to actually make it yourself. You're still depending on other people. That's the reason why when everybody launched their own streaming service, why it hurt Netflix so bad. So Zaslav is going, look, I'm going to give you guys some hope, a little bit of hope here. I can do a deal with you for some of the TV stuff. Because the other thing that Zaslav is saying is the library that Warner Brothers owns is so vast.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. I mean, you can look at it right now on the HBO Max app. That's not every film that they own. Not even close.
No.
Even Disney doesn't do that. Nobody does that. So his thing is, you got stuff that you're sitting on that isn't doing anything for you at all. Why not just go ahead and put it out there and make money off of it? Generate some funds coming in.
That would be great, because, for example, the TCM part of HBO Max is incomplete, I mean, all those movies that Turner now had in their catalog, they are not there. And those many of them are timeless classics that they could very well use and have in their platform there for people to enjoy, and that generates also revenue. It generates interest in the platform. I think that right now, HBO Max is a better streaming service than Netflix or even Disney Plus. But the problem with that is that by not having all that catalog that they have, back catalog, it's also stopping their potential. That's what I see. It's like they are not using their full potential there.
Yes, and again, as of right now, Netflix started out ahead of everyone, and they still are. They're still in it, even with everything that's happened with Disney and the fact that they have a lot more people that have signed up for their service. But what I think Netflix has discovered, and I think what others are beginning to figure out, is you can only sell so many of these.
Ooh.
Marcos, hello.
I just realized
Marcos.
Embracer used to be THQ Nordic.
Yeah.
Actually was a gaming company.
Yes. And that's why they have a lot of stakes in other gaming companies. And they normally buy more gaming companies than any other thing. But they have also had stakes in buying other companies, like, for example, tabletop gaming companies and trading card gaming companies as well. So what they have right now is a huge spectrum, for example, for the Lord of the Rings to be merchandised in different, like, for example, the theme parks that we mentioned, but also there could be new tabletop games, RPGs, and even comic books, because they also own Dark Horse,
Yeah. See, that's what I was talking about earlier. Dark Horse still has some IPs that might be worth something. And despite what that most recent version of Hellboy has done, you get the right combination of people working on something and you can do something amazing. Plus, I mean, who's to say that maybe their next purchase won't be one of these animation companies? Or look how many people have lost their jobs working for Warner. You start your own animation division. They have enough money to do that. You pick up some of this talent. You decide, hey, let's go ahead and just do an animated Hellboy.
And that's also what I was talking about when I said that they are trying to go with the Disney path, like trying to create this synergy, with all their companies or all
Mm-hmm.
their holdings.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a gaming division, they have a video gaming division, they have a comic book division, film division, and if as you say, they have also an animation division. We could also have in the future not only Lord of the Rings animations or even animated movies like the Ralph Bakshi thing, but also for Tomb Raider and all of the other properties.
You know what, Nordic? I mean, you know what, Monkey Jeebus? Yes, you were right. You were right.
Nordic monkey.
All right, I gotta quickly say this: the things they actually include. So they purchased several assets for $300 million. Okay, this is May in 2022. Crystal Dynamics, that's the Avengers 2020 game that got a
Yeah.
full game. Eidos Montreal, Square Enix Montreal, intellectual properties such as Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, Legacy of Kain. Legacy of Kain's a good one because I'm starting to see the director of the Soul Reaver. They're working on something on Steam, and I already tested it. Well, their waveform. So yeah, they're going back to the old school stuff that people love. So they have been paying attention. Legacy of Kain especially has a fandom that really wants more to come.
And sorry.
Go ahead.
Just wanted to mention the Das Wolfen comment there about Catan. Yes, that's true. I mean, Catan is a very popular tabletop gaming game. And imagine if they could have a Catan expansion on the Lord of the Rings. That would be just epic,
Well,
and bringing back Lord of the Rings into tabletop in a huge way. Because right now, for example, I think it was Games Workshop. They had like this game, but it has not been of the best quality. So then, imagine the synergy, as I was telling you, of all that going on.
You're right. I mean, this is big. This is the more you look at it, the bigger it gets. And I think that ultimately, this may give them the opportunity of just doing things with a lot of the stuff they own that no one could ever see them doing things with. Look at some of these games that they've acquired and think about maybe turning them into other media, animation, potential film, TV. I mean, it's the same thing that you're seeing with the potential of the Lord of the Rings with a lot of these other properties. So if you look, buying a studio helps all the rest of that do better. It really is magnifying what you have. Now they already have a lot. They buy Sony. You're bringing in the Columbia film catalog along with the Sony film catalog, which also includes what?
Oh, Sony. I think Sony's pretty stubborn. What they should probably nail for is try to get Crunchyroll away from them.
Well, but that's the thing. Sony's been up for sale for quite a while. Sony Japan wants to get out of the movie business.
Oh.
It was not a very good or a wise decision for them to get into to buy Columbia TriStar and all that, for what I have heard. And the thing with Sony is that also they are the, let's say, last studio that it doesn't have a streaming service. So I reckon that they were trying also to get into being sold so that they can build a streaming service for Columbia, the Columbia catalog, as Keith said.
Well, but that's the thing. My only thing with doing that is I don't think I would worry about starting any kind of streaming service as
no,
yet.
they already failed at that. They failed at that already with Crackle.
I would go ahead and just concentrate on creating enough content that you can sell to Warner, to especially Netflix, Amazon, Apple. Those three right there are going to need content.
Yeah.
So there are ways to go. There are ways of making money out of this and turning a profit. So I don't know if you'll find too much that Disney would be willing to buy or that Warner's would be willing to buy. But Apple, Amazon, Netflix, especially Netflix has got nothing else.
I think that they could really do a good combination with Netflix, like selling them as exclusive, content for them, for their streaming service. And that would be just a great way in which they could profit out of it. So far, what I have heard is that Sony, they don't want to have any movie business anymore. They just want to focus on electronics and gaming and also music with ATV Sony. especially because they through ATV Sony they hold the Beatles catalog, for example, which is not always selling.
And that's
so,
one thing. Sorry, that's one
go
thing.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. I was going to say one thing with what Bill Barclay brought up with the animated series. I'm sorry, Men in Black with that animated series. That was one of the best animated series from a movie world, and I wish they continued it, but I don't want them to continue it now in this day and age of the way people are activism being everything. But if you haven't watched that Men in Black cartoon, watch it. If you're not hooked by the intro, then I can't help you. But it was a series. It was one of my favorite.
It was really good. You are right.
Well, I really do think having Men in Black and having Ghostbusters would just be huge for them. I mean, all of the spin-off stuff that could come from Embracer having access to all that stuff would be amazing. And I could actually, I mean, with the money that they have, if they got into the habit of just taking stuff out, even getting stuff out of the vault that people haven't seen in a long time, you could have some money coming in steadily, So really, it's just about choosing where to go next. But I really do think that considering that they've already done so much just this year alone, I mean, it would be whether or not they would make that deal for Sony either this year or next year. Whatever they do decide to do, though, they have to understand that no matter what, they're going to lose Spider-Man. So, but I don't think they would be that worried about it. I mean, okay, you lose Spider-Man.
But don't you think that that's also sort of stalling the negotiations, because it's been put up for sale for some time and it has not materialized. And I don't reckon that it's going to materialize this year at least, So I reckon that also Spider-Man is a reason for it to not going forward,
Yeah. I mean, Sony could be using that as like, hey, you got to pay us a lot of money. We're worth a lot. And anybody that would be trying to negotiate was like, not that much without Spider-Man. I mean, I was born that night, not last night. Everybody knows the moment you buy Sony, you're going to lose Spider-Man automatically. So, it's really about Sony Japan wanting to make a deal. Because let's not try to fool ourselves into thinking that the people over at Sony Studios are sitting there having a hand in how this goes. The ultimate decision will be Sony Japan. And once they decide that somebody's made the right kind of offer, that deal is done.
Yeah.
So,
I think that we are seeing here a change in the game thanks to, Embracer now buying the rights to the Lord of the Rings, but we also had this going on, like companies are now going to try and do what Warner has. They have DC for comic books, they have animation, they have movies, now they have a streaming service. So companies are going to try and do that. So I wouldn't put it past the possibility that whoever buys Sony also will want to buy an animation studio and maybe even a comic book company or publisher, or create a new one for also having that, because that means that they get all the pieces of their pie for themselves.
Yeah. And you have a lot of people that are out there that are available. Right now, you've got a lot of people who have just recently lost their jobs in animation connected to Warner Brothers. So there are a lot of people that are looking for their next job. And Embracer could easily just decide, hey, let's just go ahead and get all these people back together and just start with animation. And start with like an animated version of some of their games that people wouldn't be expecting, like Pandemic.
Maybe.
Well,
that game.
I mean, it's all to help what you have. By taking certain properties that people wouldn't expect to become something different and doing something with it. If it becomes successful, that will reflect better on the initial property that it was. So if you base something on something that's just been a game up to now, that that bodes well for the game itself. Then you can think about other things to do with it, like video games and others. So,
or start doing animation studios that you give them a 6-episode series that is pretty much the prequel or prologue to a new game coming out, and that way you're hitting both markets at the same time.
Look right at you. Look at Steven go.
Now, I'm not talking mobile. Mobile can be a bridge afterwards, but they got to get out of the mobile first because screw the whales. There's not enough whales to keep you floated. But honestly, if they started doing stuff where your series is, they used to do this, series related to the show will be related to the game, or the game related to the show, and incorporate cosmetic codes or free loot codes that you could use when that game releases because you watched the show. Then you're branching two things. You're going to want to watch the show and find the code, but you're also going to want to play the game to see what actually is going to be given in the game and how the story will end through the game based off what the show gave you. And I think they going to need to start branching two heads to build a better Hydra. I don't think any corporation out there is doing that anymore because it's either cash cow, mobile, cash cow, the 4 main titles, Call of Duty and the League of Legends and all that crap, or it's Batman, Spider-Man, Batman, Spider-Man, Batman, and Final Fantasy sneaks in with the middle. That's literally what it is. If you look at it, because I can even come at this as an ex-Funko collector, okay? There is more Batmans in the Funko universe than there is air to breathe on Mars. I'm not kidding. And I'm no offense. Everyone loves Batman and Spider-Man. I'm sick and tired of it. I want something new. Like Keith has brought up Challenge of the Unknown. When we start with Wildstorm, I would love to see it. I want to see McFarlane giving some money. Hey, give us some more freaking Spawn, or give us some other characters around Spawn. We got the Phantom sitting out there that hasn't been touched since Billy Zane in a leotard. Like, get things going. You know what I mean? I'm just give them tits. Give them tits. I want tits. Tits on the women again. Make them look strong and beautiful. Give them tits. Stop hiding them in the basket going, no eggs for Easter. I want something that is going to be good. Go out of your way. Take a chance. You know what? That's the whole thing about making money. Take a chance. You're going to fail, but you're going to be successful. Take a goddamn chance.
You know what? The chat seems to really be going off and on talking about a few things. Like, for instance, Socks has here, Apple needs to buy a studio. If Apple bought Sony Pictures, they could make so much money, and all they get, except for Spider-Man, the Spidey franchise goes back to Disney. You know what? That Spider-Man is definitely something that, catches everyone's attention. But yeah, that's what you're going to have to deal with if you're looking at actually trying to buy a studio. Apple could just go ahead and start from the ground up with the amount of money they have anyway. Yeah. What they need is the right personnel to start it.
And also, I want to do a quick translation for when Keith is saying Spider-Man. He means Peter Parker.
Oh, yeah. But I think that's Apple wanted to buy Sony a while back, and I don't know what happened there, but the negotiations crumbled, I believe. And
was Apple uses a Lightning jack, and everyone else uses USB-C. So that's what... sorry.
This message has been brought to you by Fat Steven.
Okay.
The Red Bull makes me have wings.
The thing we got to really understand about the Embracer Group as we begin to wrap up this portion of it is that right now their stock is doing pretty decent. It's at $7.30. It's only been around since 2011. Their headquarters are in Vienna, Austria. And as of right now, they are valued at $8.85 billion.
It's not
I would like to just point out there to wrap it all up that for many fans, I made a video about this, but many fans were concerned that this would mean that they were going to cheapen up Tolkien and with new movies, because they announced that they might be doing some spin-off movies of certain characters, or that maybe this would cancel Amazon Prime's Rings of Power. None of that is going to happen, because right now the movie rights are with Warner, and they are still using them. They are releasing a movie, an animated movie called War of the Rohirrim, and Amazon acquired the rights through the Tolkien estate. So nothing changes on that front. Everything is going to remain as we have seen it, and perhaps we're going to see some changes in the upcoming years, maybe starting 2025, something like that. But as of right now, and for the foreseeable near future, things are going to go just the way they have been going right now.
Balls deep and helms deep. What?
It's a very deep helm, that one.
Well, yeah.
It's not my it's not my channel. I know this.
Well, look,
Why would it?
as we wrap up, since I've already given what I thought, Viking, where do you see the Embracer Group in a year's time? What do you see ahead for them in a year's time?
I reckon they are going to make a good use of the properties, they recently acquired properties like for Tomb Raider. I see that they are going to bring it back to, hopefully, to what the fans used to love about the games, which was this sort of Indiana Jones type of character with lots of riddles and mysteries in the game that were many times really hard to crack. And perhaps that's going to also help them merchandise a little bit more of the character with more movies, different movies, hopefully, and comic books. I really hope that they can do something with the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit that is worth taking a look at, But I think that they're going to go first with gaming, perhaps comic books, and they're going to leave the option of movies for last, because they have to strike deals with Warner if they can, and if they cannot, well, they will try to do it on their own, I reckon, or with other studios. But I really hope that this means that we have better content in the future.
Yeah,
that the fans really can enjoy.
Cool. Martin, what do you think? I know we rarely get around to asking you, but what do you think, big man? Where do you see this Embracer Group in a year's time?
They're gonna do fine. We are gonna be screwed. That's my opinion. I don't like
All right, you're
big
fired.
companies. I don't like big companies hoarding so much entertainment. It's never end well for the public.
Okay, that's a reasonable view. Steven, 1 year's time.
1 year's time. Honestly, I get where Martin's coming from, and as much as his Milwaukee point is exactly right, it is. But there's also a sideline that I want to throw out there is that they don't have to own all the properties if they're licensing it out to every other studio to make their style. So that means if they know they have a good record with licenses previously, why not give them another chance? But they could also give them stipulations. I don't want to see your politics. I don't want to see who's bad unless it's like hero versus villain. I don't want to see that something that's outside of entertainment, and make sure that these licenses are not only protected when given out, that they're not infused with the crap we've been dealing with for 3 to 10 years. And back to one thing, giving us the escapism, giving us the fantasy, and giving us the ability to relax when we get home from work and not feel like we're going to get badgered through a show half the time and a game.
Yeah.
Am I wrong on that? Or am I off topic?
No.
Okay.
No.
Did you see this?
And tits. I forgot tits. I'm sorry. I had to bring it back up.
Look at this, man.
Come on, how did you
See,
forget
did
that?
you see a sitting congressman said that canceling Batgirl is worse than inflation? Okay. Obviously, this is someone who doesn't understand what was the situation with Batgirl. So
Or inflation.
Let me try to really condense this down to something that even this congressman can understand. Batgirl was just a mess. Period. Okay, that particular film was not going to match the future of the DC films as they were going to be in the future. Okay. On top of that, we've already established that they went ahead and with the footage that was released, thank you, Paulie, from the filming in Scotland that they did, we see that J.K. Simmons was made up to look like a slightly different, slightly younger James Gordon than the way he looked in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So obviously, this was really not meant to bring everything along. It was meant to change it. And so there's no place for that. On top of that, they spent $90 million. But that $90 million doesn't even count what the marketing was going to be for the film. So you were still looking at least another 125, maybe even 150 million. So it's 90 million plus 150 million. And Zaslav decided he wasn't going to go for that.
Plus, I think that he said that he has a specific vision of where DC should be going, right? And I heard a rumor there that his vision is similar to what the Snyderverse was trying to build up, right? Something like that.
Somewhat. A lot of that has been changed because Snyder had let it be known by the fans what he had in store, thinking that they would, this was never going to come back to him anyway. So he's already stated that he's changed that story a little bit.
I want to throw. Sorry, there's something else I want to throw in there real quickly. This is one thing that's actually one of the acquisitions with Embracer Group, and that's Gearbox. And they already do something that's similar of a cartoon, cell animation, and game, and that's Borderlands. So they already have a property they can actually make an animated series. They've already done that with the Telltale Borderlands game. So you can actually go right there if you're going to do a Borderlands 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. You can do your series and then license out the series, get the right animation studios in, especially ones from, let's say, Telltale, who did that. Mm-hmm. That was a great game. I haven't played it. It's there. If they probably do have a plan. Especially with Borderlands, the universe is vast enough that you can make it Tales of the Vault Hunters and just have it go on from there.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Now, just to answer a question that I saw there in the chat, I think it was Marshall or something like that, who asked who owns Conan. Heroic Signatures, that's the name of the company.
For a
Heroic
while.
Signatures owns Conan.
Isn't it going into public domain because we know certain comic book artists and creators that are actually doing work on it that we can't go too far into, but yeah.
It's already in the public domain in Europe, but in the United States, I don't know how it works.
Actually, I had the numbers here for public domain. I was part of a chat where we were discussing that, and that came up. What we're looking at is 20. Okay. I think it's 2020, either 2023, 2024, or 2025. I think Conan comes up real soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to 2033.
Batman?
Is when... No, that's Superman, I think.
Superman. I thought it was both.
No. There's a 1-year difference between the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
2033 for Superman. Then 2024... for the Human Torch, Batman, and the Submariner. Then 2033, 2034, and then 2035 is when Captain America comes up. And so you add another 27 years to that, and that's when Spider-Man comes up. And the Fantastic Four. And that starts in with the second coming of Marvel Comics.
So, they're only all different.
Well, I mean, that's at least going to take care of the versions, the initial versions. Monkey, we're talking about the real Human Torch, not the Fantastic Four version. Like I said, that'll be 2040... 2040, well, that could be 2044, maybe 2045, 2046, somewhere around there. So we've got a little bit of a wait. Mm-hmm. So but not that much. A lot of the stuff's going to wind up in public domain in my lifetime, depending. So I think we have another story that has come up, and that is what was that? What was that, Stephen?
Anything.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive I said tits.
Okay, well, hey, look, there's nothing wrong with it.
Hey, if it's my last day on this channel, I'm going out in a ball of glory.
Oh wow! You know what? Man, come on! Yes, that is the way to look at it. Let's see. I think the next thing is the announcement that there has actually been a surprise 2-part episode of The Sandman released right now on Netflix. So for those that have actually finished The Sandman on Netflix, there is now a surprise 2-part episode that has now been released. So you can watch basically 2 brand new episodes of Sandman.
Yeah.
Right now on Netflix. But I'd prefer you do that after you're done with this show. Have you guys watched Sandman? And
No.
I can tell from the laugh that that's a big no from Steven.
No.
Okay. That okay.
Nope.
Okay, that's three strikes there. I actually watched it. You know what? I kind of liked it. Okay. But I also like the fact that while it's been said that a lot of the DC stuff isn't there, the stuff that still remains is still tied to the DC universe. Hello, Chris Carroll. For instance, one of the characters that there's Cain and Abel, who watch over the House of Mystery. And those guys have been around since at least, the late 60s, very, very early 70s. So I remember those guys from DC Comics. And I was total fanboying when I saw them on the screen. That was amazing to have those guys. Then we have both Wonder Woman's and Steve Trevor's daughter, who's a part of the Sandman, as well as the son of the original Hawkman, who are also in the Sandman. So, wait a minute. I just wish the character death didn't get race swapped from a white woman to a black woman. You know what? I totally get it. I totally get what you're saying. You know, I didn't mind as much. Even with the whole John Constantine sex change, although in that particular instance, that wasn't so much the original plan. That's just what they were left with. That whole sex change of John Constantine was because of J.J. Abrams.
He's the destroyer of franchises, all right, isn't he now?
He's even destroying projects he's got nothing to do with. And in this case, no,
like
seriously.
Rings of Power?
That's some breach.
What it is that at the time when they started production on the Sandman, JJ was still attempting to make Justice League Dark, of which Constantine is one of the characters. Well, the way he works is that whenever he does anything, he wants full access to that character, and he basically is cutting off access for anyone else that wants to use any of the characters that he has in Justice League Dark, which means not just John Constantine. He cut off access to Zatanna, Swamp Thing, Deadman, and a lot of the other characters that were introduced in Justice League Dark. Because he did that, Neil Gaiman and the producers of the Sandman had no access to that character, so they had to come up with something.
I don't want to watch it because of the hypocrisy in Gaiman's statements. Like when he said the fans like what they like, they are not going to take in a Batman character that is not a detective and is a reporter with a yellow trench coat and all that, only for him to change many of the characters that
Yeah.
he had in
Well,
this thing. So
he's speaking as a guy who has an opportunity to make some money. I
yeah,
mean, he's getting paid, and when you think of it this way, think of all of the Sandman material that's been released over the years. The hardback collections, and
hmm
then the annotated collections. Now, people like me who like knowing the intimate details of how something was put together, the annotated Sandman gives you all kinds of stuff that you may not notice in the original comics, where they just break it all down, point out different things, including additional characters who you may not be familiar with if you don't read a lot of DC comics or know a lot of its history, to realize that Neil Gaiman was using a lot of DC characters to make this whole story. So, and there are certain characters that are so obscure, in his mind, he figured nobody would notice.
yeah.
Thus, Diana and Steve Trevor's daughter being one of the main characters of the Sandman series.
Even the Sandman himself, right? I mean, it was a character from the 1930s, 40s, if I remember correctly, that was wearing a mask, like this World War II gas mask or
Actually, no,
something
no.
with that
That
dome, right?
character is referenced in a way in this, but the Sandman, Morpheus the Sandman, is an original character
Yeah.
that Neil Gaiman created. But yeah. Wesley Dodds was his name, and that
Yeah.
name does come up in the comics and in the Netflix series. So, but as I said before, you're also getting two characters that are related to two other heroes that, unless you read the comics or knew the history of those characters, you didn't know who you were seeing. So,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I still don't want to give it a chance because of all that, I don't tolerate hypocrisy.
mhm.
And least of all when it's used for preaching against the fans, like if you don't like it, then you are an Easternophobe or all that dumb crap, that they always try to push. So I don't know. I mean, I don't really feel any interest in watching that. I'm
Mhm.
actually waiting for season 5 of Cobra Kai because that one really looks good and it respects the fans. So
Wow. Hey, that's great. I mean, look, everybody's got their something. And nowadays with streaming and how we have access to everything, everybody can find something they really, really like. You
yeah,
know, uh, there's no way you can get away with saying that you can't find anything at all. There's always going to be um, something that's going to try to vie for your time and your attention, and that's a good thing. You know, let's see. And then we have something that we talked about this morning, which is the 30th anniversary of Wildcats and Wildstorm. Really,
hmm
DC Comics will celebrate Image's 30th anniversary of Wildcats comic and more. So you're going to have some new Wildcats material out there. And let's see. Hold on. Let's see if I can share this with everyone so that you can at least. Here we go. Share screen. And there you go. And those are the covers that they've come up with.
all right.
Yeah, I know. They're going to do this up nice. So, Stephen, would you mind reading?
Sure. Is the article in there so I can get it bigger?
Yeah. Yeah. DC celebrates Image's 30th anniversary.
Can you put the link in the chat, please, so I can actually?
You know what? You're right. I should do that.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
You're very welcome. Let's see. Hold on.
Oh God, a private DMs.
Wow. There you go. Just for you, buddy.
Oh, thank you. I'm special needs all the way. All right. So this comes to you from my voice from Bleeding Cool Comics, or Bleeding Into Comics, or Bleeding Cool, however you want to call it. DC celebrates Image's 30th anniversary with Wildcats comic and more. This comes from Rich Johnson as of August 18th, 2022. DC Comics, isn't it just DC now? Is reviving Wildcats #1, created by its publisher Jim Lee 30 years ago, when he was at Image Comics before DC bought his publishing imprint Wildstorm. Now by Matthew Rosenberg and Steven Segovia, it will be accompanied by a 4-issue miniseries, Waller vs. Wildstorm, by Spencer Ackerman, Yvonne Narcisse, and Eric Battles on the 15th of November. DC will also collect the previous Batman Spawn comics, Batman Spawn, the classic collection, before the new Batman Spawn #1 in December. Oh, and there will be tons of Wildstorm variant covers across the line. Basically, however Image Comics is celebrating its 30th anniversary, DC wants to join in too. Money. And for those that don't know, this is the original Grifter.
Yeah.
That's actually Grifter. Okay, so that's why I use that emoji so much. Wildcats #1, spinning from the pages of Batman, comes the senses-shattering new series. The Halo Corporation has gathered a motley crew of operatives led by Cole, Grifter, Cash, who are going to make the world a better place. Please start with Amazon. No matter who they have to kill. Again, Amazon. In the shadows of the DC universe, this new covert team has been tasked with gathering an elite group of scientists for the first phase of their plan. But the Cat's mysterious leader, Void, which is their wallet, Amazon, might have other plans. Written by Matthew Rosenberg. My English sucks. And there's going to be a 1 in 25 variant cover, a 1 in 50, a 1 in 100, and 1 in 150. So in other words, get ready to spend almost over $100 if you're looking for most of these, if the store actually gets them. There will also be a 90s cover month variant by Brett Booth and Sandra Hope, $3.99 US, 32 pages. And a variant of a $4.99 US card stock, on sale 11/8/2022. Oh my God, that doesn't look like DC. There's boobs there. Wildcats #2, the mission has gone sideways for the Cats team as they inadvertently run afoul of the last group they wanted to cross paths with, the Court of Owls. That would be interesting. It's the fight of the year with Talon and Zealot, or Talon versus Zealot, also written by Rosenberg. Why do I keep messing up his name? And again, there's only going to be a 1 in 25 and 150, so this will be more attainable, I'm guessing. But why is Deathstroke in green? Why is that his what? Is that his sword or is that like a baton?
I cannot really see.
Why does he look like Wesley? Why does he look like Wesley Snipes' blade? Am I the only one seeing this?
No.
Holy weird. All right, getting back to that. Then we're on Waller versus Wildstorm 3. 3 times I screwed up the sentence. #1. In the early 1980s, as the Cold War stubbornly refuses to thaw, a new battle heats up for the soul of the intelligence agency Checkmate. As the agency's super heroic public face, Jackson King, a.k.a. the Armored Battalion, former leader of Stormwatch and the symbol of American might, has long suspected that Adeline King is up to dirty tricks overseas, engineering horrors that portray everything he believes about the service to one's country. But King does not know that King has a clever new ally, an ambitious young woman named Amanda Waller. She has her own ideas about how metahumans can serve their country, and honor, dignity, and long lives don't factor into them. National security reporters. The sentences, whoever, no offense to the sentence structure, but it's starting a sentence with "and" is throwing me off.
Yeah.
National security reporter Spencer Ackerman, The Daily Beast, Reign of Terror, comics and video game writer Eva Narcisse, Black Panther, Spider-Man, not Miles Morales, Batman, Gotham Knights, Gilded City, and veteran artist Eric Battle, Aquaman, and Cobalt celebrate Wildstorm's legacy of espionage-flavored superhero morality plays, pitting Stormwatch against the deadliest people in the DCU, including Deathstroke himself. Why? Why the fuck does he look like a Keebler elf? Why? That's cool. I like that. All right, and then we got more. Whoa, okay. And then we got the 30th anniversary special. This is the one I will probably look for. They have a glow-in-the-dark cover?
Yep.
Wow.
And a foil cover.
Yep, and embossed. Yeah, total. Look, they are going out of their way to do this up nicely. Of course, it might have something to do with the fact that Jim Lee has been helping to run DC Comics all these years, and so they might as well just try to do something nice for the guy.
Mm-hmm. But hopefully the writing is well done.
Yes.
That's the big problem. Okay, so we're gonna have art by Jim Lee, J. Scott Campbell, Brian Hitch, Brett Booth, and more. I actually excited for that. So that's about it. I'm not reading the next dissertation because my English sucks right now, chat. But yeah, I'm actually excited for that. Glow in the Dark cover. I haven't heard of that in
long time.
Ages, yeah. I still have hold on. I'm gonna stand up and I'll probably yell at the mic, but I still have the comics on my wall from Team 7, the Wildstorm Rising prologue, where they're searching for those keys. And I have the Wildcats as well, Wildstorm Rising. I have a bunch of those comics still on my wall. So those are pretty cool.
Wildcats was a very good comic, like the epitome of the 90s.
I just dropped my phone. Don't judge me.
Well, I mean, it was, and the fact that they were able to get a Saturday morning cartoon out of that. So
yeah.
It went under the res. Usually it didn't come on normally, depending on the station, right? Not very many stations had Wildcats playing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really great. Like you had the Wildcats animation, you had the Gen 13 animations. They were like short movies, something like that. And the HBO Spawn animation, almost all at the same time. And it was really cool, It was like a good time to be an Image fan back then.
Yeah.
Sure.
Between Wildcats and Savage Dragon and let's see what else.
Yeah, I had forgotten Savage Dragon, also the animation.
Yeah, they did a nice deal for themselves, having a lot of that launched. Although I think the person who got the best end of that deal was Todd McFarlane, because that Spawn animated series that HBO had was the shiznick.
Still holds up to this day,
Oh yeah.
I have the DVDs or something like that, and it's really cool,
Yeah, between that and the Max.
And the Max, yeah, that's true.
That fell under MTV's Oddities Hour. So you would get like things like The Head, Aeon Flux, The Max, and other things. And usually you had to stay up to midnight or 1, depending on your area or region, to actually watch them. And I don't think they played all of them. They would do 2. It would either be Aeon Flux and Max, or Oddities and Max. They would flip it up, right? I think, or it would be like a full night of just one set of cartoons. And how would they programmed it?
Well, I don't know how they were programming back in your, in your country and everything, but we had like here with MTV, we had like this regularly scheduled programming, and they had like midnight one day there was one of them, and then the next day there was another one, so they were like not all together at the same time,
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a weekly basis sort of thing.
Remember, I can't read. I skipped some classes in school, the chat says, so I'm just going to go with that.
I think it's cool that they are trying to do this at DC, because if they bought the Wildstorm and Wildcats thing, they should do something with it. But better than what they did when Flashpoint, like really trying to get them there into the DC universe. And this is a good start, I reckon, So I hope that it's really good. I think I'll get the special, the 30th anniversary special, just like Fat Steven said, I like that one more.
Well, you know what? I hope that they use this as an opportunity to also do something with a lot of the other properties that they own, I think they have a lot of stuff that really could be utilized, and some of which fans are waiting for.
Milestone.
That's what I was thinking. Milestone should be next. Again, all those people that are complaining about the Batgirl movie need to understand that Walter Amada, the guy who gave you the Batgirl movie, hasn't done anything at all with Milestone. And this is even after Michael B. Jordan signed with them. Not with J.J. Abrams, with Milestone Media. So that should tell you something right there. You know, this is definitely not going to go the way that a lot of people initially thought it was going to go in having JJ and Warner Brothers. And I think JJ, if he doesn't understand, will soon understand that they really don't need him. You know, he's not doing anything for them. I'm thinking Zaslav will eventually come to that decision, because that $500 million deal was really predicated on not to give him the money, but to pay him as he produces stuff that he said he would. So losing Justice League. Yeah, go ahead.
But he literally goes to like production places and goes, I promise to give you crap, just give me the property. Is that what JJ does? And they give him money?
That's pretty much, yeah. All that power he had, the effect that he had on Sandman was predicated on him actually finishing Justice League Dark. Also, why he made a big production out of trying to get the Black Superman script written. You know, he used a lot of the same tricks he's been using with Star Trek, which, again, you know, we see how well that worked for Paramount. And how now all of the actors for his Star Trek, a.k.a. known as the Kelvinverse, how none of them now want to take a pay cut. In order to get that movie made, originally, he had to convince everybody to take a pay cut. And then it just came down to the two Chris's, and at least try to get one of them to take a pay cut, and neither one would. So now that everybody's gone beyond their contracts, now that everything is null and void, they have to sign everyone to new contracts in order to get a Star Trek 4 made.
Which is what is delaying it as well, right?
That's the big delay, because since nobody wants to take a pay cut, look at what's happened to some of those actors since the last Star Trek movie was out. There's at least one more person in that cast that can demand some big money. And from what I'm hearing, it's I think it's ballooned to about $270 million before you film anything.
I think that at this point, Zaslav should just cut the losses of Warner with that J.J. Abrams deal and move on. You know, it's not really necessary.
Unfortunately, there is one project it looks like he's going to be able to deliver and at least make some money on, and that's the Batman animated series that he's doing.
Called the Batman, or yeah, I think Bruce Timm is also behind it, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it's called Batman Cape Crusader.
Hear all that joy.
I think it'll be on. Well, it was initially set for. It was initially set for next year. It still may come out, but let's see. It's J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves, and Bruce Timm.
Yeah, I remember.
All working on it. And I was hoping this was going to be one of the animated shows that was going to get cut, but no such luck.
They have been cutting a lot. I mean, Zaslav has been axing animation. Like, I don't reckon if he sees it as feasible anymore, But at the same time, there are other projects like this one, the upcoming Tiny Toon reboot or something like that, or
Yeah.
Were they
refreshing.
made them siblings, and that takes away the whole dynamic of Buster and Beth?
Yeah,
Morons.
that one.
Morons.
Well, and again, Zaslav said on the day he came in that he was going to cut $3 billion. He's trying to work his way right to the $3 billion. But look, no matter what, even if he misses that, it's not as important to cut all that as it is for Disney to make all their cuts. Disney needs to come up with some money before 2024 because their contract for Hulu includes the stipulation that they have to buy out NBC Universal's stake in Hulu by 2024.
They need to come up with more material than just relying on Marvel and Star Wars, because it's not really selling that well. If you pay attention to how it was received, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and how they received Miss Marvel, it's just getting messy, mate.
I'll tell you exactly what NBC Universal is going to say. That's a you problem, not a us problem. So
yeah,
you got to come up with the money.
It's gonna be like Stewie Griffin and beating up. Where's the money? Where's my money?
More like this guy Jesse Pinkman, where's my money, bitch? Something like that.
Well, but that explains why Chapek showed up to the investors meeting. Basically looking like he doesn't have a care in the world. I think his plan is to let all the people that are basically doing damage to Disney to just continue to do that damage to make it easier to get rid of them. It's called being fired for cause.
It should be. I mean, let's hope that is the strategy behind, because if you pay attention to it, it's just getting worse and worse. And I would be worried,
I think that's what he's doing with Star Wars at this point. I'm thinking the reason why he's decided to concentrate on Marvel is to allow Kathleen Kennedy to have her way with Star Wars and to mess it up so bad that the board has no choice but to let Kathleen go for cause. Now, remember, they offered her a way out. They wanted her to retire with Alan Horn.
Oh, yeah.
And Alan Horn has already retired. This was all supposed to happen last year, towards the end of last year. And she didn't take that way out.
Mm-hmm.
So now Alan Horn is just down the street at his old company, Warner Brothers, helping out David Zaslav.
Yeah. But the MCU, the Marvel is not faring any better right now with the recent releases. I mean, just look at how they axed, because I don't find any other terminology for it, phase 4, and said, oh, by the way, we're starting phase 5. I mean, it's like, what, when, and how, and it is not faring that better than Star Wars. So that's why I see a big problem there for Chapek, because none of its two properties for Disney that are selling or were selling that well or were surefires, are doing any well,
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm telling you, I really do believe that phase 5 will be the turning point, one way or another. If phase 5 is not an overwhelming success, they're going to go ahead and reboot everything, because to wait any longer would be dumb. It's bad enough that it's looking more and more like everything that they've done post Endgame isn't really working.
And anyways, they have to reboot at some point, right?
Yeah. And if you look at it this way, every year that passes gets certain characters closer and closer to public domain. So, one of your major characters is basically going to be out the door. So you might as well just go ahead and eventually just reboot this. In my opinion, just do it after Phase 5. In fact, really, if it were possible, I say cancel what you have planned for Phase 5 and just go ahead and recast everything. Start all over again. Steve, Tony, the whole 9 yards, and do it right this time. Have Ant-Man be an original member of the Avengers and just start.
Or screw that and just start with the West Coast Avengers and give a whole new team, a whole new generation of young actors and actresses that probably would make it freaking nominal, and let the rest of these older heroes take a break so there's no more saturation. Sorry, didn't mean to jump in there like that.
No. I mean, it's just...
It does. The oversaturation, the problem is, if they keep relying on the same thing over and over again, no one's going to give a crap because they've seen the same story over and over and over and over again. And I think that's where we're at. Sorry.
That's where we are at. But also, we are having this major shift in which women are taking all over the spectrum, like there are already potential replacements for Hawkeye, for Ant-Man, and they are all women. We have now She-Hulk also, and we see that this is what Kevin Feige promised at the end of Phase 3, when he said we're going to focus more on diversity and representation for women, to have more female heroes and all that. And it's not selling. So even though it's the same story as you mentioned, it has these bits here and there that make it different, but they don't make it different for fans to be interested in. It's just making it different for the sake of pushing the agenda. And that is also what's hurting this thing, because everyone is seeing through that and say, well, this is just another, political propaganda, whatever you want to call it. I don't want it. I want this in stories. I want character development. And so far, if you pay attention to what they have turned out for Phase 4, say for Spider-Man, there has really been no character development. You see Multiverse of Madness, which is supposed to be a Doctor Strange story. Doctor Strange doesn't have that much of a character development as with Wanda Maximoff. And if you pay attention to any of the Disney Plus series, they are not having any character development for their characters that really says that inspires the fans or something like that. What they are doing is creating just synergy in which Disney Plus shows sell you the movies and movies sell you the Disney Plus shows, and it's just merchandising and marketing, all that,
Yeah. Okay. I have one of them right here. So Conan will be public domain officially in 2028.
There you go.
Wow.
6 years.
That seems
too far away.
I was gonna say that seems kind of close there.
Yeah, close if you consider that they have no movie in development right now or any other games or video games. They only have the focus on getting back the rights from Marvel when the contract is already finished this year, and then start producing comics of their own. But comics, there's not really on the horizon for any movies or TV shows or anything like that right now.
Wow.
And that's what Amazon lost, They had there. Jeff Bezos had there when Conan was going to be a show for Amazon. That could have been his Game of Thrones, and they threw it away. They didn't want it because of toxic masculinity, according to Jennifer Salk, who is the head of Amazon Studios. She didn't want to have anything to do with that because she's a woke, of course, and a liberal. So they decided, no, we don't want that. And then they threw it away, and you see the consequences now.
Okay, so let's see. In checking all of this, actually, Superman goes into public domain in 2032, not 2033. I'm sorry. So it's 2032. Batman will be the year after, along with the Submariner and the Human Torch. So those will be available in 2033. And then Captain America will be 2034. Wow.
Not very long. 10 years.
Yeah, realistically, it's not that long.
Not that long.
So, I mean, you know, this isn't really going to hurt Marvel that much, with the exception of it being Captain America. But a lot of their stuff, you can add another 30 years onto that. So, yeah, we're looking at the 2060s.
Or maybe a little bit earlier. The end of the 2050s, maybe.
Maybe. So, yeah, this is, I'm starting to feel, yeah. Unless they can get an extension. That's still possible for some of these. They can still petition for an extension.
Well, but for the Marvel ones, right?
For DC too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Superman and Batman are still eligible for petitions to delay.
Which they are going to file, of course.
Oh, of course.
Yes, Retro Nerger. I have waited for that too long.
Yeah. Agreed.
I can tell you guys are kind of disappointed that it's not happening soon enough for you.
Or maybe not even ever.
You never know. You never know. I don't really foresee anything stopping from Conan from going into public domain. Well, maybe Marvel and certain Marvel fans, but for the most part, I don't really foresee any difficulties in Conan arriving in public domain. And you have to at least do it by a certain period of time. And once that time passes, then it doesn't matter anymore. So we're still quite a ways away for, comparatively speaking, with Superman and Batman. And I'm thinking that's part of it right there. That I think you have to. I'm not for sure, but I think it has to be a minimum of about 5 or 6 years before public domain. So Conan's too close, so it's going to happen. You know.
It's a shame just that we didn't have any more decent movies, you know, that forgettable Jason Momoa film. That doesn't count, please.
Well, that was self-sabotage by the people that made it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, even Jason Momoa now is making fun of the fact that that movie just wasn't up to snuff. So
yeah, but after the fact, right?
Well, I mean, better late than never. You know.
Yeah.
I think Midnight's Edge and Andre did a video about that, about what went wrong with the Jason Momoa film. And Andre, I think, broke it down really, really well as to what exactly happened.
Yeah, he's a really good, really, really hardcore Conan fan.
Oh, gosh, yes. Oh, yeah. There's a brand new Conan coffee table book out there celebrating all things Conan. So we need to get a Green Arrow movie. You know, Black Ass, I agree, but I don't know how that's going to go. I do think that there are a few actors out there who would make a very good Oliver Queen, but that's really going to depend on Zaslav and how quickly we want to do this. In fact, wow. In fact, let's see. Hold on.
That's right, Sox. I said it from the start. They wasted that guy on
Superman. So that puts us, I think, 2038, maybe even 2040 for Green Arrow. Wow.
Well, for all the good that Zaslav is bringing with him, we have to admit that there will be a good 2-3 years drought because of that. All the projects that were scraped.
Well, but the unfortunate thing is that I think as Gary likes to call them, the clown table, have done their damage. Because in all of the delays, now remember, if they had left Snyder alone, you probably would have only had one movie, and it would have been done. Because of all their shenanigans, though, they've dragged a lot of this out. Unfortunately, all of this last-minute dumb stuff has worked against everything. And here's what I mean. In case you didn't know, Walter Hamada, the same guy who certain people are praising for actually having made a Batgirl film, is the same guy who turned down making Batman Beyond.
Jackass.
He didn't think anybody would want to see it.
He messed up.
Big time.
Hey, we
Big
have
time.
a question from Christopher Carroll.
Hey, Chris.
If anyone of
Okay.
you-
What's your question?
He asked, may I ask a question about reported comics coming out of Marvel this fall?
Yeah, we'll answer it. Just need to know what's your question. Yeah, they should have made a Green Arrow versus Batman movie, but again, a lot of stuff was tied up because of Greg Berlanti and his Arrow show. So, let's see what Chris Carroll says. I heard there may be a Damage Control series coming out. Any news? Wow. Anybody want to take that one?
I don't know.
You're the expert, man.
Oh, I'm the expert.
Yeah, of course you are. But I haven't heard anything about that.
Let's see. Damage Control Phase 5. Well, hold on. That would be MCU. Let's take a look.
Hey, welcome, Matt Vader. Good to see you.
So far, nothing. Nothing new on that front. Okay, here we go. Damage Control will be a part of the upcoming Ms. Marvel series. But that's already been out and gone. So, yeah, that's where those people were from. That's part of what that government agency that was chasing her down is part of Damage Control. So, yeah. Sorry about that, Chris. I don't know if that's the Damage Control you were expecting, especially after Spider-Man Homecoming. A comic. Well, that's a slightly different question then. Let's see. A Van Damage Control. Let's see. So, okay. Here we go. I think this is what you may have been talking about. Damage Control number 1, 2022. Okay. There'll be a brand new Damage Control comic coming out August 24th of this year. From the creator of TV's The Goldbergs, Marvel's unsung heroes finally get sung. After the mega power battles and Hulk-level catastrophes, Damage Control is always there to clean up the mess and get things back to normal. But damage control is much more than just a glorified cleanup crew. And this new series will pull back the curtain and reveal the secret inner workings that were previously only available to people with clearance level 8. And will witness it all through the eyes of Gus, a fresh-faced, eager newcomer to the company who has no idea how chaotic his life is about to become. Adam F. Goldberg, TV's The Goldbergs, and Hans Riedenoff team up with Will Robson to take you into the secret labyrinth of damage control, where it's totally common to run familiar faces like Moon Knight, Nightcrawler, She-Hulk, and more. Plus a second story by damage control creator Dwayne McDuff's McSpouse, Charlotte Fullerton, as the damage control crew must clean up after the Infinity Gauntlet. Well,
we have a super chat from Sax.
Oh,
$5 Canadians. Thank you
Sax,
very, very much.
I don't miss Walter Hamada, but I miss Keith Hamada rant. Hey, look, for $5, I will rant on. You know, Hamada can just suck it right now. And you know what? In honor of that $5, I think I'll just do my impersonation of Gary's impersonation of Walter Hamada. Hello? Anybody? Hello? I'm still here. I've got a phone. I got a fax machine that's not plugged in. Hello? Hello? Anybody? I'm still here. Hello? There you go. Let's see. Can't
also
wait.
to answer a little bit more of what Chris was asking about upcoming Marvel comic books for the fall. Next week we open up with Amazing Fantasy issue 1000. Yeah, why not? And this one is with a regular cover by John Romita Jr. and it's written by Kurt Busiek, Neil Gaiman, Anthony Falcone, Rainbow Rowell. And it's penciled by Giuseppe Camuncoli, Steve McNiven, Michael Cho, Olivier Coipel. And the comic that brought you Spider-Man hits issue 1000. We are going big to celebrate in this, our 1000th issue of Amazing Fantasy. An all-star roster of creators are coming together to celebrate Peter Parker and Spider-Man's birthdays, which is a little strange because, I mean, it's not a regular title, but it has reached somehow 1000 issues.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa. Yeah, Gary, if you're hearing us, please.
Hello. I've
How
got the
much time
SIM
do you
card. Hello. I'm still here. Anybody? Hello. I still have my desk. Is Jason there?
We need that with the photo that Fat Steven has of Gary. Help! I can't get up. I fell down and I can't get up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We could make that Hamada's face on there because nobody would ever know.
Whoa.
If he fell, nobody would ever
Nobody
know.
would know. Yeah.
If Hamada fell in his office, would anybody really know?
Just like the tree falling in the forest.
True, but tree adds something to the environment. No, I shouldn't say stuff like that. I don't.
You already did.
I don't wish him ill. I just want him to just
Go.
he just needs to go someplace to do what he does. Because I really do think he believes in what he did.
Dude, people like him and JJ and Grossman, they just need to make an absurdly amount of money, enough that they say, I won't do anything anymore. I'm retiring.
True, but he's true. I'm not going to add any more to that. I really do not wish the man ill. I've never met him. I mean, I could bump into him on the street and go, "Who are you?" But I don't wish him ill.
Well, we always have monkey jibus. Oh man, monkey, you're the best.
It's not that.
What can I say about this? You can simply not watch the other movie. And there are trash cans.
Peter Venkman site says, "What do you guys think about Australia's 4-film GB collection, Ghostbusters collection?"
Yeah, in physical form, with including the last one. That's what I referring to. You can keep the first three. Keep the real one, the 3 real ones, and the other that is not worth mention. You can trash it.
Yeah. The
Maybe
2016 one.
Maybe you have a piece of mobiliary that needs to be leveled, and you can put it down.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, to level the table or something like that. Yeah,
it's Ghostbusters. What can I say?
it's also trying to force something that nobody really liked, just to get a profit out of it, because they lost so much with that one.
He should go host Iron Chef for Kids. I think he's talking about Hamada.
Hamada should do something. I just think he should, first and foremost, just not do anything else with any DC characters for like ever. He should just not do that anymore. As far as I'm concerned, he's been on his third strike ever since the whole screw up with the film Joker. Because that if I had been in charge, if I were David Zaslav, I would have fired him out of principle just for that. So what I mean is, when he came into the job, he was selling the board on the fact that they were definitely going to make a lot of money in having Wonder Woman 84 and Birds of Prey come out. And he told the Warner board not to really worry too much about Joker, because, it's one of these off movies made about a character that isn't really the main character, but it is the villain of a particular piece, and it's more of an art film, and, don't worry about it. So they didn't really invest hardly anything in it, so that when Wonder Woman 84 failed, when Birds of Prey failed, and Joker took off, Warner didn't actually receive hardly any real compensation, and the shareholders didn't really receive that much.
Well,
yeah.
You think that after the IBM and Microsoft negotiation, and the negotiation that George Lucas did, in which he kept the rights of the merchandise, people who have learned should have learned, and they still don't.
I agree with Kid that should have been his job right there. Like
Yeah,
you know
I
what,
mean,
fire.
you're talking a film that wasn't made for that. I mean, look, the production budget of Joker was less than Wonder Woman 84 and Birds of Prey.
Mm-hmm.
And the film ends up making over $1 billion and wins Academy Awards. And the shareholders didn't really share in they did get paid, but they didn't get as much money as they would have got had Warner Brothers actually invested a lot more in the film. More of their money rather than letting this other company spend a majority of what they had. So they received all the benefits from having it.
Yeah.
So had I been the boss, I would have just said, "Hey, Walter, why don't you come to my office? We need to talk." I would have reminded him, it's like, what is the number one rule in business overall? Don't mess with the money. You mess with the money, you got to go. I mean, think about it. It's you own the character of Joker, yet you don't really share any of the major financial benefits. I mean, you do. You get paid enough. But as far as any profits go, no. And again, all that stuff with Batgirl, when they started production on that, Zaslav was on the way. He knew what Zaslav wanted, and they went ahead and spent that money anyway. So, as far as I'm concerned, if you're really still butthurt about Batgirl, talk to Walter Hamada. So what's this?
Or your nearest congressman.
Well, with Joker 2, please God, no more origin story, because in Joker they had for the millionth time the death of Bruce's parents.
But did you have it singing? Now in a musical, we can have it.
With Lady Gaga. So you know where a lot of your money is going to go. I mean, between the director, Todd Phillips, Joaquin Phoenix, who, won an Academy Award for playing this character the last time around. And now Lady Gaga.
Who also, I reckon, won an Oscar for the song, right, in one of the movies?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's another example of milking the property for all it's worth, and just not understanding where its success really lies.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why Walter Hamada got. I mean, as soon as Joker started getting on a lot of top 10 lists, and a lot of critics started really talking about it, is when Hamada started putting all of that talk out there about Joker 2. Now, you got to remember, Todd Phillips had no intention of making a sequel. Joaquin Phoenix was not interested in making a sequel. The reason why they're making the sequel is because Walter Hamada got on his knees and said, "Look, guys, I'm begging you. I'm begging you." Pretty much for the exact same reason why he decided to hire JJ. He thought JJ was going to knock it out of the park for him.
Yeah.
I think that
he was also. I think that he was also feeling that he was on the line, after the disaster that you just mentioned with the Joker and the shareholders, and like, hey, what happened with you? So I think that he started just rushing things up, trying to save his job. And even though he's in limbo right now, we know that it's over for him over at Warner. He has nothing else to do there.
Yeah. Now, guys.
Yeah.
We're being too serious lately.
Too serious? You know what?
Yeah. How about we speculate here? Well, not speculation. If you could have a movie based on whatever IP, existing IP, but make it. Whoa!
That's me. Don't worry about
I
it.
know,
Keep going.
but make it a parody. What would you choose?
Rings of Power.
No, that is already a parody. Hello? Hello? Am I alone here?
Viking.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. I would, you know what? I would go with something that they wouldn't expect. You know, and hear me out. I would actually go with the $6 Million Man idea.
Okay.
And here's the reason why. That was actually, based on a novel that was about a guy who was ripe for a major experiment that would basically turn him into what they called, technically a cyborg back then, to work for the OSI. I think that idea could still work. I think it would be fun. I think every opportunity to turn it into something else. I think they were going for the $6 billion man. It was more of a comedy. There's a chance for that, but I'd still do it as an action film. It would be John Wick on another level. Just saying.
Well, I would not answering. I will not be answering because I'm have this super chat from Das Wolfen. Always listen to kids. You know what is going on, and kid is always right.
You are too kind. I mean, seriously, you are too kind, man. Thank you.
And for that, I will have this one.
I'll chase him round the moons of Nibia and round the Antares maelstrom and round perdition's flames before I give him up.
Sounds obsessive.
Just a little.
You think?
A little sprinkle of obsession.
Well,
Oh
it
my
happens.
God. Jim Carrey, Steve Austin. What do you mean, Bill Barkley? Jim Carrey as Steve Austin?
Oh man.
Oh.
Well, that would be a cool idea. I mean, seriously. Okay, first of all, here's my thing. Who would you pick as Steve Austin in a comedy, and who would you pick as Steve Austin if it were an action film?
The Rock.
Well,
okay, then
for both, right?
The action movie.
The Rock.
Oh,
Kevin Hart. Diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they work together in a comedy, I think, right? Where they are spies or agents, something like that, and it worked. It worked.
You know what? I could see that if you had The Rock as Steve Austin, and maybe have Samuel L. Jackson as Oscar.
And you
I would
should
like
get
to see
Mark Rick Davis as Andre the Giant.
You know what? I want to see The Rock play the $6 Million Man, and then Kevin Hart play the Bionic Woman, and then they have children, like in the Bionic 6 cartoon, if you remember that one.
No, I don't.
And Monkey, very unknown.
That was not a muscle suit. That was the guy.
Wow.
Remember, he was a bodybuilder.
Whoa. That was fat,
Oh.
Steven.
What was me?
You suggesting the
No,
rock.
no.
What is this? I would pick Moses Ingram as the Bionic Man.
Oh, great. We got the bionic weave.
I think it'd be interesting depending on how you would do it. You know, Jim Carrey's a little long in the tooth to be doing the $6 billion man. So
Hey, Scott. Good day to you. So, I think it would be
Time
nice.
to wrap up.
Yeah, we have just the time, 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
wow, here we are wrapping up on time, sort of, kind of.
Gee, I wonder
Well,
what
listen.
factor keeps us from that. I wonder where
The
is
first
it?
time.
Well, listen. Thanks everyone in the chat. Let's see. Do we have our chat list?
Yes, it's in the private chat.
Private chat. Okay. So let's start out. Thanking Das Wolfen, King's Portal, Penny, Marshall, Anima Confusa. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Bill Barkley, Monkey Judas, Pat S, Socks Bulletins, Zax, Marcos A, War Monkey, the other monkey, Darius Munchausen, Tim's Talk, Mr. Christopher Carroll, Black Eyes, Retro Nerd Girl, Port Libre, Post 2, Matt Vader 74, Awesome One, the Peter Vinkman fan site, Brett Cohen, Dave Bob, and Scott Lewis. Wow, we had a pretty good turnout today. Let me also just thank Martin, because without whom
Monkey.
I just can't. I can't really do this.
Monkey.
Viking, of course. Thank you, brother.
It was a pleasure.
Justice Siegel.
Yeah, okay.
All hail Justice Siegel.
Yeah, fine, okay.
Today's M&M winner, main man.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right.
Well, no. He's got it going on. He's all cool like that,
Yeah, okay. I'm cool. Oh my God. You're so cool. You remind me of domestic abuse. Thanks. That's lucky.
No. What are you
Who's the real
doing,
Slim
buddy?
Shady? I don't know. Check the backhand. Oh
no.
What? Say something incorrect?
Oh my God. We're all of us so fired, man.
Well, oh wow. Well, listen, everybody, thank you so very much. Thank you to everybody that sent in some nice super chats today. And just let me end this by saying you can find us right back here tomorrow with Saturday morning fun time. And I swear Gary will actually be here.
I'm sorry. That wasn't a fake laugh.
What?
I don't know. It was just funny.
He will have finally activated his SIM card.
What?
He will have finally activated his SIM card by then.
Yes.
Still trying to find that tool to put it in.
Well, everybody, from Martin, Justice Siegel, Viking, I'm Keith, and you have been watching Pop Culture Minefields TGIF. See you next week, and for all those lovely, lucky people, see you tomorrow.
Cheers.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield.
The hell?
What?
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
For some reason.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon for updates on our shows and channel. Also, please leave a comment, and we'd like to know what you thought of the episode, as well as letting us know if there's something you'd like us to cover in a future episode. Don't forget that you can become a member of Pop Culture Minefield now. Make sure to visit our membership page and merch store at popcultureminefield.com. You can always find Pop Culture Minefield on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.